We now move on to the next segment of today's program, the presentation on Management Consultancy Professionalism by the Chairman of Practising Management Consultant Certification Board, member of the Governing Council, and member of the Board of Directors of SBAC, Ms. Isabella Loh. Would you please join me now to welcome Ms. Loh on stage. Ms. Loh?
Thank you. That was important because it saved me a few minutes explaining what we do as PMC. DPM, ladies and gentlemen, if I can quickly, I've lost my little sticker here. Okay, just bear with me. I'd like to press pause right now, and if I can capture the audience here to really reflect on why we are here today, simply because if you are going to see things in running water, you can't see the real picture. So some of the slides I'm going to walk through today is really to talk about the reflection of the industry, reflection about PMC, but more importantly, what's in store for our future. We're all about trust in SBAC. DPM, I know you have difficulties with the acronym here. SBAC, actually, now for short, but we'll try and see whether we can shorten it further later. But trust is very hard, and all the consultants here will tell you, oh God, you know, the SMEs will tell you, you borrow the watch and tell the time, all the time. So how do I trust you? So that's where we began the journey 8 years ago. George had a hard time trying to convince that there should be an SBAC. In fact, we were told it's impossible to do it. It's like herding cats. Well, it was in a way, yes. But it was not that difficult. But I'll let you know how we did this. So just for the sake of clarity, we're a not-for-profit, independent, national organization. We're all volunteers. We're not by association, by anything, but we work in collaboration with associations. So today I'm just going to concentrate on the PMC-CB, which is the Practicing Management Consultants Certification Board portion, and the part about our plans for CPE Academy. The business advisors is still in progress right now, and we will announce that at a later stage. In ASBAC, what is important? I know you don't like 5, but I have actually 4. I'm going to just walk you through availability, assurance, affordability, and aptness. And if anyone don't really know what aptness means, in the Wikipedia, it means suitability of our consultants. More importantly, I just want to demonstrate there are a lot of faces behind the number that says 500. Actually, we're close to 600 right now as we're speaking. And they're all valuable faces out there helping the industry. We've still got a long way to go because in the phone book, there are about another 13,000 names, or rather 12,400 to be exact, of which there are about 7,400 companies that do consulting. And I did this, a lot of deep diving. Roughly contribute about 0.6% to GDP today. And that includes some of the multinational consulting firms that we have in Singapore. But what I had noticed is that a lot of the industry makeup is in the niche area. If you look at the bottom of the pyramid, you'll see 56%. When I say niche, you're in branding, you're in very what we call key important areas, but they make up that many, 56%, of which the lion's share of activities that's also going on is operational ISO, operational processes, and less of infocom and international and strategy, which again is a makeup of a lot of the big firms in Singapore, international firms that cover the 1% and 3%. I was quite taken aback by this, but I'm just going to walk you through the journey, what we intend to change the structure, which is quite important. What is also important is that we are trying to unify and standardize the values, which are often the code of conduct by all management consultants. To ensure that we all have that uniform value, we'll have to put the right process in place. And some of these words are, is self-explanatory. You deliver, you develop lasting relationship, you combine industry and experience, you make change happen. The video actually talks through a lot of these certain values. Now, in ASBAC and part of PMCCB, we actually ensure that there is a generic competencies, that we tick all the boxes, that we ensure the consultants, PMC consultants, have as a framework behind us. A lot of that work doesn't stop here. We are continuing to upgrade the bar, the goalpost, and so that everyone is considered globally standardized PMC consultants. More importantly, in the professional and ethics area, we ensure that every consultant signs an ethics code of conduct. In terms of the depth of experience, we're just on that journey right now. So you start hearing about domain knowledge area. We have bilingual Chinese, financial management, intellectual property, human resource, halal and productivity. And what we intend to continue to build for the next couple of years are in the green, branding, IT, workplace safety, energy, and aged management, as DPM had announced. This is quite important. This is a huge milestone. Thank you, AIG, because they had the courage and the commitment to help support us with the coverage. First ever professional indemnity scheme ever for management consultants in Asia Pacific, of which the coverage is about $250,000 per PMC, aggregate up to about $5 million. Now, it doesn't stop here. We hope that with feedback from the consultants, we know how to adjust this accordingly as you take on larger roles and larger projects. One of the things that often SMEs face is a lot of roadmaps. There's a lot out there in terms of schemes. In fact, this is already simplified, I'm told, from about 168 schemes 3 years ago. And thanks to Teo Silak, who has streamlined some of these incentives, we're down to about 53. For any SME, there's a lot to navigate. So the consultants actually have a huge task in actually making it so simple for them through ASBAC and our recommendation for the consultants to get it right for them to navigate through. More importantly today, I want to tell you that are we really crazy doing all this, you know, herding cats and certifying them? Well, let me tell you, we're not alone. What is important is that there are other countries that have found the same process, and they have found the gem among consulting industry. Let me quote the Indian example. They have actually formed a similar council as ASBAC, and they have actually pushed the boundaries of a lot of their consulting industries, from very small proprietorship, what I showed you, our so-called structure is almost similar, 56%, to where the bandwidth which they thought they should specialize in, which is in infocom technologies. I'm sure you've heard of companies like Gujarat, Wipro, Tata Consulting. They have actually edged up in terms of in terms of consulting scale, top 100. And how did they do that? They actually helped a lot of the consulting industries, the individuals, and as well as the SMEs. In the UK, they're doing the same thing. They've just published a white paper just recently. And in fact, they're forming the same council as we have, and they're giving out substantial vouchers like £30 million by next year. So we are not alone. However, what are we doing that's different? I hope you can see these words. For the consultants, I think we've got enough, I hope. Right down to insurance, professional liability that we just talked about. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about training later, how much more we're going to do. More importantly, we're actually doing a lot more work placement. E2I has come in to provide the work placement for us. And on the company side, there are some certain incentives for SMEs to help us. To basically take on PMC consultants. Maybe a little bit more has to be done, DPM. Let me give you an example. In India specifically, they have actually accelerated the promotion of global MNCs collaborating with local consulting companies so that they can use the combined so-called the activities so that they can accelerate and help the SMEs even further. So I would encourage more cooperation. And how do they incentivize? They incentivize the SMEs through tax incentive to get that collaboration going. So I think it's one of those formulas that could work for Singapore. But I'm sure there are many more. But because of time, I just want to, again, talk about some of the success stories. I have 4 gentlemen here that I'd like to talk about, and they're in this audience. The first one is Joseph. Joseph, where are you? Can you please stand up? Thank you. Joseph, you have your clients with you? SKP? Are they here too? Yeah, they are. Thank you. SKP, as you know, is the largest disposable plastic packaging company. They have 46 outlets. Amazing. Joseph, thank you. With your 15 years of consulting experience, you've done good. The company has upped their services. Sales staff also up by 17%. Turnover has actually come down. And more importantly, James Lim from SKP has said good things about PMC, making the difference for their future in terms of branding. So that's one great example for implementation. Next example is Lim Songju. Are you here, Songju? Thank you, Songju. You're so far back. The media may call on you. Songju is very interesting. He came from the electronic industry. And with an electronics background, he provided consulting services for all farms, which is catering. Same concept, pollinating successes from electronics to a food-related services area. And Songju has been praised for being very patient, analytical, and he comprehended the issues and he helped implement the change. And the wastage of food had actually come down substantially. So this is another testimonial for another company. Chang Kin Wing, are you here? Chang, there you are. Thank you very much. Another good example. Kin Wing came from Sony Precision, actually. He was a quality manager. And with his background and experience, again, in manufacturing, he's one of the very few PMEs to PMCs from a multinational organization, became a consultant, and now helping Mitsubishi, Japanese-based for conveyor belt, help them save money every month and optimize. I think this is another very good example. And I like to talk about Ong Tiong-wan. Where are you, Tiong-wan? He's 75 years old. Oh, there you are. Thank you. He's one of our senior PMCs. Tiong-wan is 75, and in fact, he has praised PMC as an assurance for ethical practices. And in fact, in one of the quotes, I didn't have it up there, he helped me quite a bit on, he said that he believes truly in effective aging. You have to ask him what that is. But more importantly, he has taken a different route, and he's actually been helping companies not just in Singapore, but in the region. Swift Energy, as you know, is a Malaysian-based intelligent engineering solutions company. And again, he has helped optimize the company. So our PMC's branding is now going beyond the shores of Singapore. All right, so there are 4 examples. Thank you very much. Thanks. So there you are, availability, assurance, affordability, and aptness, all the 4 A's that we represent. Are we doing enough? Well, that's a big question. 170,000 SMEs, 7,000 MNCs. I didn't even count the public sectors as well. There's quite a number of public sectors and educational schools that's in there. 13,000 seems like a lot, but are they the right fit? And so, 2013 has been a good year for us, but our ambition doesn't stop here. We believe that in midterm, we will have to continue to upscale and sustain the number of consultants. We'll have to start transforming. The bedrock of having a CPE academy is key and crucial to continually upskill all consultants in Singapore to global standards. But here again, the magical figure could be 2,500, could be more. But what is important is that we're able to enable more than 100,000 SMEs we have today. And of course, the formation of the CPE Academy. Where we're heading with this one, 2020 vision, we'll end up wanting to become globally recognized as the center, a world-class CPE Academy. And more importantly, hopefully we can grow at least 20 international firms among us. And more cooperation between the global firms we have today. I believe in the audience we have PwC, KPMG, and Ernst & Young, I believe, and Disney, and a few other big companies that I didn't mention. I'm sorry I didn't mention all of you. And we'll have that world-class academy up. Let's talk about what we just talked about, the 56% of niche that is out there right now doing sole proprietorship. That's okay, but we need to up the skills so that we can actually spread the skills of international strategy as well as in the areas of infocom to accelerate the SME's transformation. And this is a continued effort. Why 50 billion? That's because the global market for consulting is 450 billion. So 50 billion is a good 10%. And again, if I just make this very busy slide, just stay for a while, the bedrock of what we are talking about as CPE Academy is about work-integrated experiential learning. We can't run away from that. There's no way we can teach consultants textbooks on how to consult. It will have to be quite a lot of integrating learning with workshops, with peer, with profiling, and more importantly today you witnessed the collaboration between WDA and ASBAC, and that's really to WSQ. I hope this WSQ means something to you. All our courses so that our consultants will also get incentivized to come back and relearn some of your skills. Now we've done this, the skills awareness and the skills development already with a lot of collaboration with various partners like SIM, Temasek, SMU, CP and SPA. with some way to go, all right? And we are now developing the knowledge-intensive masterclasses, which are called domain area, and we will continue to build up with multi-agencies. More importantly today, some of you who are PMCs and SMEs, you want to know how we are going to do the industry engagement. There are a lot of things that are happening today in ASBAC, including networking platforms, company recruitment talks, industry work placement that's just starting to happen, as well as through the SME centers. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for being with me for 10 minutes on this trust journey. Thank you, DPM.